There, can we hear we now? There we go. I can get rid of the echoes. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. I'm going to start that all over again. So, everything is just, of course, my first time hosting, and it's all, yes. So, we're going to be looking at Exalted First Edition. Basically, with that, typically the character class that you do play are the what they call the Solar. They are the children of the unconquered sun, and the unconquered sun being the god of this world, one of them. Um, he is, of course, the sun. The This world is really interesting as you have the. Let me see if I can find it. One moment here. And actually, I'll go ahead and use this website here. I'll even share it with you folks. There we go. Oh, that's small. Oh, so small. There we go. We'll do it that way. So this is the second edition, but the thing is that this is the kind of the map area here. So what this will do is this literally are the edges of the world. This is the world as you know it. You start getting out here on the sides and the peripheries. You have what they call, I know that second, Todd, but the map is roughly the same. So with this, you do have the peripheries. You have the lap, which is where a lot of, this is a really good place to start. The lap is actually a huge statue. It's been there. No one knows where it came from, but there is a town there. And basically that is where everything kind of congregates. The for the Solar. So with the Solar, you do have 5 different classes or breakdown of. You have the Dawncast, which are kind of your holy warrior paladin, I guess between warrior and paladin type. You have the Eclipse. They are your general. This is we're going to make a deal / kind of bard, negotiator. He's typically the overall face. With that, any pact or deal that they oversee, if it is broken, bad things will happen. Extremely bad things will happen. The Nightcast are kind of more of your roguish type, thief type types. They able to go in and out of the shadows very easily. The Twilight is a mix between your crafters and your sorcerer types, mage types. And then your zeniths are your kind of your clerics, essentially. So, and in that, this typically is what they will run. Now, there are some others, the Lunars. The Lunars do have, I believe it's 2 forms or 3 forms. They have and if you want to think of kind of like werewolf type, they have their quote unquote humanesque type. They have their war form, and then they have their animal form. And it just depends on the animal. You can have anything from bears to foxes to goats. It's a little bit of everything in there. Um, then you have your abyssals. Abyssals are the direct opposite of your solar. They're from the underworld and whatnot. So yes, Ludo friend. The wife's looking at that. Yes, they have many forms, and they are mostly archetypes. Then you also have the robots or the I'm going to butcher this, and Todd's going to yell at me for it. The autocrons, basically think your clockwork types, and they come. Then you have your dragon blooded. Your dragon blooded, essentially, is what it is. With that are the, if you want to think of them as medieval samurai, I guess is the best way to put it, with the way that they act. It's samurai meets the Roman Empire, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different types. Hey, Scally, thanks for coming. Thank you much. Give Mars a pet for me. They have the aspect of air, earth, fire, wind, and wood, and each of those archetypes give them certain things. And last but not least, we've got 2 more. Then you have the sidereals. Sidereals are kind of the ones that work for the fates. They tend to really get in deep and dig and scratch and whatnot. Then, last but not least, you have the fair folk. Now, around the edges of this map, the fair folk live. And the further you go into these areas, what they call the wilds, the further in that things just go off the rails. If you think of the fae, the fairies, the courts and whatnot, that's what you're kind of looking at. Now, most of them, and Todd, who's in the YouTube chat here, he was the one that was supposed to be here with me tonight. Unfortunately, had some technical difficulties, but I've played in several of his renditions of his game. The big thing is that his world, everything is kind of taking place at the same time. You're in different areas. So, like I said, the lap is the big area where most of the most of the casts of the solar are. Then up here you'll see, scroll up a little bit, right here in the center of this island, you have the Imperial Mountain. Now with that this is where most of the Imperials. Now, during the first age, which was many, many millennium ago, the Solar got a little too big for the britches. Best way to put it. And so the dragon-blooded, who were servants of the Solar, kind of went through and did a mass extinction event. Now, with that, the whole island, but they actually set and took out most of the Solar. The Solar that you play is many years later, and essentially you are thinking of basically your soul has come into this body, and you don't have any idea that you are a Solar until one day, boom, your cast symbol pops on your head. You glow like the big old light, and you pray to God that the dragon-blooded don't find you. This is a big proponent of the storytelling system, Now, with that being said, in the storytelling system, there is a lot more of the role play ROLE as opposed to the roles. There is combat. Combat is typically over within a round or two because you have all these powers. And the biggest thing to remember with that is that, for instance, I was playing an Eclipse. My Eclipse, the way that it kind of does it's got a wheel initiative, which is a little bit different than just rolling for it. You have your range go first, melee goes second, and then all magic goes last. Being that my character was a range player, I would go first. Now, I'm sure everyone has seen that scene in 300 where Leonidas is standing there and he goes, "Oh, they're going to fire." They fired all the arrows, and he goes, "Well, we'll fight in the dark." Well, instead of 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 people launching those, I'm launching those with using my talents that I've picked up. And essentially, I can also make all those arrows the size of ballista bolts. You can kind of see why a lot of the combat goes very quickly here, because you have ballista bolts raining down on a group. That's going to do some damage. This is a D10 system. Typically, it's 7 or better on the die. With the way that let me see if I can find a character sheet. Here. I apologize. I was expecting, like I said, to have Todd here, and I've kind of had to go with Plan B. So I believe this is it. Let me drag this up here. Well, this is the second edition. Only difference is war is not in the second edition. But as you can see, each cast has their abilities. I'll even zoom in a little bit for you guys. I'll attempt to zoom in. Then you have your merits and flaws, your charms, your combos. Your charms are your abilities, basically. With that, you also have your solar anima, which how many motes of energy. It does take motes in order to basically have, after so many motes is how big your mark comes out. So if you use a lot of motes, it's, you can get up to iconic, which can be seen from very, very far away. You can even, typically most storytellers will actually allow you to also craft your with your essence and anima pools, be able to craft what your anima looks like. Your anima, can be anything from like blazing golden dragons or a hydra or whatever you feel that you really want that to be in. Oh, there's the zoom in. And there's a zoom out. There's a zoom out. So, and then let me reset that. So then you actually get into the final page of, your jump, your move, your dash, your lift, your age, your birth, the languages, intimacies, things along those lines. So you also have your everybody has a virtue and a flaw. So you can be, if you want to think of it like kind of 7 deadly sins type is your flaw type deal. It's very, like I said, in a lot of things, because this is White Wolf, A lot of the White Wolf did keep a lot of that things going across all of their different games. And as you can see, let me see if I can zoom in on this a little bit better. Of course not. There we go. So as you can see, like your Dawn cast, you have your martial, your melee, things along those. You also have your Zenith, your survival resistance, performance, integrity, which a lot of that goes into your, especially with your performance. Your performance in this is not like a bardic performance, but it's your performance of speech, instilling things in people, getting, the folks behind you type deal. Your Twilight, like I said, your occult, medicine, crafting, investigation. Your Night class, which is, your larceny, stealth, dodge, awareness, athletics. Eclipse, and socialize. Fun thing is that, like with my Eclipse, you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots here. I myself had an extraordinary role, and I was actually able to seduce one of the maidens of lust. Being that I've been around her for so long, my character, which is I believe been retired at this point, has 7 dots, just because of him being around her, innate bonuses that etc. Then you have your bureaucracy, your linguistics, things along those lines. You have backgrounds, your weapons. Many DMs will go stock but out of the book. A lot of them will also go with, look at you, look what you've actually, done, and see exactly what you are able to actually do. 1 second here. Did you actually get in here? Is everything working, Todd? Okay. That works. Okay. So then you have this is your health box here. So depending on how everything goes out, some of these blocks are kind of boxed out and whatnot. And of course, your experience you can use to up your dots. It's just as in like werewolf, vampire, things along those lines. You do also have a soak, your lethal, all that. Your anima here, you can actually set and describe what your anima is. Your virtues, if you ever get these boxes ticked off for a short amount of time, the storyteller takes control of your character. And I can tell you from seeing this personally, it is never a great way to allow it to happen, because the storyteller can have all kinds of fun that with consequences that you'll have to take care of. So in looking at the first edition, let me see if I can find my core book. Hold on 1 second here. So in looking at it, this is the Dawn cast. This is what, one of the Dawn casts kind of gives you an idea. There are different cast books for these 4 or 5, I should say, or the for all the casts, I should say. And basically it goes through, dreams of the first stage, things that help with not only your character, but also with everyone else. You also do have a little introduction on basically telling you what's behind the cast. The Dawn cast, now mostly known as Forsaken, are the great warriors the world has ever known. Their return could signal the beginning of a glorious new era. And that's the thing, is that they do tend to want to kind of keep, close and minimize those. All right. So one that a lot of people look at. All right, Waldorf. What's going on here? Give me 1 second, guys. Trying to get the right. Yeah, there we go. Then you have the Lunars. As I stated, they also do keep a bit of their whatever their heritage is. As you can see, this guy kind of looks like a satyr, but more than likely he's got some kind of goat or horse or something along those lines background. And they actually run through technically the wife of the unconquered sun, which is Luna, which is all you all kind of know would be like as in like the moon and things along those lines. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways to play the game. Now there are a few others out there that do pop up from time to time, and with that they are what is it? I don't remember off the top of my head. Hold on. Dragon Kings, which basically, if you want to think about them, if you want to think of the Lizardmen, it is that's just basically kind of where they're at with this. So not one to go into too much detail. This is a hugely sure, I'll take whatever I can get there, Max. Not trying to do like kind of a read through with this, but it is kind of one of those things. Plan A did not work out correctly, so I kind of had to roll with it. So and keep in kind of spirit with what I was going to talk about. Oh, hello, buddy. Until Max can get in here, we shall bring up the puddles in his finest. Yes, sir. It is a very fun game to play. It is, and a lot of the White Wolf stuff does translate over. So that's another thing to, so like vampire to werewolf. Lunar, if you want to think of them, they are more of the werewolf. I wouldn't know exactly what to say for with the other cast, but I mean, typically, you just kind of went chunk. Typically, they run through all different kinds of scenarios. Pretty much anything you can think of, you can do. One of my favorite things is there's a place called Nexus. Nexus is kind of where all trade happens. and there is a little pollution. Typically, there are signs up that tell you not to eat a certain kind of popcorn, different color popcorn, just for the simple fact of it may not be good for you. The the other thing is that there we go. Bring Max in.
Hello, hello. I'm guessing you can hear me. Hello?
There you are.
Well, now I hear an echo. Awesome.
I don't know why you're hearing an echo.
I hear me twice.
Oh, did you mute the stream?
Yeah, I don't even have the stream up. So, news, I didn't watch anything before this point, so you get to do all that again.
Sweet.
Sorry, Bruce sidetracked me, and then I realized I was being sidetracked, and I quit. I'm blaming Bruce. You like that?
Give me 1 second here.
The echo is gone now. So whatever it was.
Okay. I mean, nope. The computer decided it wanted to go cray-cray. Give me a second, guys. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong tonight.
Murphy! Don't you love those streams? I really love it when that happens, when I've completely prepared. Like, seriously, I've got notes, I've got a little crib sheet, okay. I've got everything ready to go, and then nothing.
Okay. 1 second here to try this again. All right. What about now? Do you hear it twice or no?
Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do not.
Yay! I fixed it.
Sorry, no camera tonight. Just baby face Max.
Just baby face Max. That's okay.
Which isn't Max. Just generic internet picture, everybody. That's all that is. That's not what I look like. I'm not doxing my baby self.
This is exactly what Max looks like.
Exactly.
When he plays Earth Dawn.
This is what I look like every day. I stream.
But yeah, basically I kind of just went through the basics of what it was, the different types that you could play.
So I generally know the White Wolf system. I played a bunch of first and second edition vampire, mage, unfortunately werewolf. But what is Exalted? Like I mean, what makes it different? Like I own Demon, I own Trinity. Like I know what some of the weird ones are, but what is this one?
Yeah, this one basically is more of the demigod. I guess is the best way. This is their first foray into a demigod that wasn't. Oh, there you go. My wife answered the question better than I could.
Anime version of
Mage.
Well, since Mage is my favorite one, and Demon, even though I've never played it, would probably be my second favorite one. It's one I've actually kind of wanted to play back in the day. All right.
So yeah. Essentially, it works the same way with the dot system, White Wolf dot system, and whatnot. The big thing with it is that, like I said before, it's more role ROLE play than ROLL play.
Isn't that all of the White Wolf storyteller system though?
For the most part, when you get really deep into it, let me see. In this book, no, it's not.
And I say that just because my experience with Vampire and Mage had less to do with dots and skill rolls, although maybe doing some of the rotes might take a little bit of time to figure out. But it was more about what is it you want to accomplish? Okay, do you have the dots to do it? There you go. Act it out, talk about it. Whatever.
Yeah, and that's basically the way that this system is set up. There is essentially. There is a lot more of the there's a little bit of political intrigue. There's also, because you have to offset with the dragon blooded, which are kind of the if you want to think of like Roman samurais, is the easiest way I can explain it.
Roman samurai. Okay.
They're broken up into factions. They have a very, very samurai mindset, but the way that they're structured is very Roman.
Okay.
Death and honor, yeah, exactly. Honor and death, death and armor. That and honor. That pretty much sums it up right there. Let me see if I can find the. Is this it?
What's the power level of the game? If mages are the most powerful of the core. I mean, you can turn a vampire into a lawn chair with the snap of a finger. Sure, a little paradox, whatever. But I mean, a vampire cannot hold a candle to a mage in any way, shape, or form. If you consider mage being the most powerful of the core games, how would this be more powerful than mage, equal to mage, a little less than mage?
I would say probably a little more than mage.
Really? Okay.
Because I know you said you didn't hear it from before, but one of my characters that I played was actually one of the Eclipse, so it was kind of the face of the group, the talker. And I would fire an arrow. I could split that arrow into about 100, and then turn them to the size of ballista. Raining, shoot it up straight down.
What's the drawback to that? Or is it because you're gods, you don't really have one? Because paradox would stop a mage.
What the drawback is having the motes, or the, I guess, energy to be able to do that.
Okay, I got you. So it's almost like blood points from vampire.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. It's kind of like mage. They threw in the little bit of the blood point system, and then if you use too much, you start to glow, and everyone knows where you're at.
Oh.
So,
and somebody put that in shit. You glow, okay?
yeah. You definitely glow. Hello, Bruce.
Hey, how's it going?
Talk about glowing.
I am trying to get that piece of meat out from between my teeth, because I drank and I ate pork rib and pork ribs, and with a really nice pork rib, I might add. But the thing fell apart in my mouth, and apparently there's a gap that my meat found.
Gross.
Sorry. That picture.
Hey,
that picture is
keep this PG, please.
Keep this at least NC-17 without the nudity.
You blaze like the sun, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I mean, depending on how you want to build your character, you take the different charms, which are basically, if you want to think of it in mage terms, your different abilities or spells. So, yeah, exactly. You're technically a reincarnation of past age demons.
Yeah, so the game Demon the Fallen, well, I haven't want to play it. I've never played it. I have no clue what the power level of that game is. So like I said, of the core, I just know, and I stress the word no. I've had one person try to argue with me on this, and that person failed miserably. But Mage is the most powerful. I mean, it has some drawbacks. I mean, that paradox will kick you in the ding-ding. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, so I always kind of put everything on that power. Like if it's more powerful than Mage, I'm like, ooh, okay.
Well, actually, Todd,
it makes sense if they're gods or demons. So,
yeah, Todd may actually be able to answer that. Todd, where would you put this? Would you put this more powerful than Mage or below Mage? Got to wait for lag.
Sure. Yeah.
I have to have him type it in from the.
I told one of my game masters, I said, I want to be a marauder. He's like, no, you don't. I'm like, yes, I do. Because think about it, having all that power and then not having to worry about paradox. That's a win. I can blow up the world. Nobody can stop me.
And then all he says is nope. That answered the question perfectly. Exactly what I was looking for.
Thank you, Todd.
But
on a scale of 0 to to mage. What's the power level of this game? Mage +5?
I always thought Exalted was higher power levels.
I mean, it would make sense. Don't get me wrong, it would make sense. But my God, I couldn't imagine. I mean, when you get those higher level mages, and I know they don't use levels, but you get those higher level mages and the crap that you can do. I mean, again, with the exception of paradox storms coming in, tornadoing your ass away. Yes, more power in the system. Jeepers creeper.
Yeah.
I mean, you got planet destroying stuff then.
Yeah. There are actually
What kind of masqueraded? Okay.
There are also, if you want to think about it,
9,000
in 40K terms, it is they also do have what they call Titans. So, you know, like the big robots, though they do have those also. They're hidden. Yeah.
Now, is this in the same? Is this in the same universe as Vampire Werewolf Mage? Or,
Nope.
or
Nope.
okay,
This
so
is its own
so it's actually
separate.
outside that, so it wouldn't matter anyway.
Yeah, there's one.
Exactly.
Not the World
Okay,
of Darkness.
that's cool. You know, and that's one of the things. Again, I've just never dove into White Wolf / World of Darkness that much. So I use the same system, but it's a standalone game. All right, that makes a lot more sense to me. That's cool. All right. That actually makes the game a lot more interesting to me.
Yeah, and it is, you know, it within the second edition, they dropped the ball on it hard. Third edition so far of what I've seen that they've put out is actually should have been what they did with second edition. Because basically they kind of went back. Of course, the third edition is the new company.
So it's probably complete garbage.
Well, who knows?
I've read some of the stuff that this new company's done to Mage and Vampire. Even though I've never really been a big Vampire fan, it was it was offensive in the other way. It was horrible.
Yep.
And I know Heathen Dog's got some thoughts because he's way more into White Wolf than I am. He did a video on the magic system of the new Mage, and he wants to light the book on fire.
But yeah, the overall with it, a lot of the, it also depends on who's, you know, DMing it. For instance, like Todd, he's been DMing ours on and off for years. And like I said, he actually takes everything and puts it in, it's all kind of interlinked. But you hear,
well, what's a typical storyline for? I don't want to say for a character. What would a typical mission or campaign be like? What would you do in the game in order to, you know, kind of? Again, I don't want a 20-year campaign. I'm just talking like, what would you do as a typical adventure?
We typically rotate out about every 3 to 4 months on our games that we play.
Okay.
And typically in that 3 to 4 months, it is usually saving the world from exploding.
From like external forces or humans being idiots, or?
Yes.
All right.
It's whatever they decide they want to do with it and all that. For, you know, there was one where we had to go to the north, and there was a power attunement area where we had to actually disable it because it was overloading, and if it would have exploded, think of it as a ley line power node, and if that was going to explode, we had to go in and get it powered down. Others, dimensional rifts opened, and we had all kinds of automatons come in. Yeah, it's a lot. The autocracies and all that was coming in.
You can come up north here, and you can go kill that snowman that's walking around out there. You know.
Actually, there were wargs. There were, you know, it basically you're trying to stop the apocalypse. Also, kind of to also bring the Solar back into the excuse the pun, but into the light, especially with their father being the unconquered sun. So yeah, and there's a lot of interplay. There's also we've talked about doing a campaign where we were actually playing the bad guys, which are the Abyssals, which are the direct opposites of the Solars. So I mean, you can play good. You can play
This is starting to
bad.
sound more and more like In Nomine, and that's not a disrespectful thing. It's just I'm trying to visualize the game more. Now that you mention that, it almost sounds like In Nomine because that has the same thing where you can play either side. Although I will just tell everybody, In Nomine might have a decent story. It's a crap game.
I will say that there is one GM here. When we used to have our local con, you could not get into his game at all.
Good old Mike.
And that's yep. He would actually run Inomine for 2 out of the 3 days, and then the third day he would run Scion.
I'll play Scion, but I own Inomine, and I was really into that kind of stuff at that time. And I tried for the life of me to make the game actually fun. And I don't mean like anybody can play Angels and Demons and try to make that stuff fun. I mean within the construct of Inomine, it was crap. I'd rather run Nephilim, and Nephilim's almost spreadsheet oriented.
Little bit of crunch there.
It's Chaosium, so yeah.
just a little crunch. Let's see.
Hello, Baron Norman Tog.
Sorry, just kind of going through some of the chat here. But yeah, a lot of it is, and like I say, is a lot of the theater of the mind. Even with and my dog's going crazy. Hold on a moment. Little one, push the door open.
Yeah, Exalted definitely sounds more fun to me than Inomine.
Yeah, and really it's kind of fun too, because you can you have all these great amazing powers and you're trying not to get killed.
So who's trying to kill you? I mean, are other Exalteds or whatever trying to kill you, or just the Abyssals?
No, it's the Abyssals are trying to kill you. The also the is it the Dragon Blooded are trying to kill you. The Dragon Blooded are basically the descent of the dragon. They have that whole island that I showed earlier that they originated from, and they were originally the servants of the Solars until the Solars kind of went a little out of line. Sure, give an example. While Todd's typing up his example, he'll probably take all of the characters needed.
That's fine. I'm just putting questions out there because I literally have no clue what you're talking about. So.
Yeah. I about know this. I know this system about as well as I understand Chinese culture from 3000 BC.
Oh, well, I mean, since that's your actual heritage, you should know that wonderfully.
I know, right?
You're part of the Chinese Imperial Dynasty. I saw that in Tankars.
Yeah. That and I need to get another copy of Real Ultimate Power so I can do a reading of it. If you've not read Real Ultimate Power, you have no idea what it's like to be a single parent raised individual in the 1980s who has nothing better to do but find every canon films movie there was ever made, and you envy ninjas and you want to flip out like ninjas.
And actually, in this, you could with the what is it, the Nightcast, you can actually do that. In fact, there was one that was that actually Todd played in a previous game when someone else was running it. His name was Darkwind, until he slipped one night and then he accidentally said Darkwing, and it's been Darkwing ever since. So, and he was the terror that flaps in the night because he was a night cast.
Did he have a duck bill?
No, he did not. It would have been amazing. Oy. But yeah, with the way that the crafting, the way that the magic is in this is actually really cool. The one that, yeah, he did fly, but he did not have a duck bill. But like one of the staples of the Twilight for magic spells are obsidian butterflies. So think of a cone, and it's nothing but butterfly shaped obsidian flying out, sharpened obsidian. And you can take that with, you can chain a lot of stuff together to have it go. A lot of in the game, there's also with different think from into Washa. But a lot of it is if you can kind of put it in your mind, there's a way to do it.
I mean, the White Wolf system is conducive to that kind of gameplay. So that's good. Because I just have I have literally no experience with Exalted at all. I saw the book on a shelf one time. I might have a friend that plays it. I don't know, but yeah. I think he's from. I don't know. Those were all a bunch of words I didn't understand.
There is a nightcast who tried to steal from a goddess and then got turned into a cat, and he will steal your gold.
That's a whole bunch of Japanese words. I'm gonna have to get my wife in here to translate for me.
Oh, she'll probably know what that anime is anyway. Actually, this may be the one game you could actually get your wife into.
What?
What? Like you've never done that before?
Pay you? I'm not paying you. You're Japanese. You work for free. You work for noodles.
But yeah, I think Nora would actually be able to enjoy this, especially with the way that the anime style of it. She may actually, this may be her break-in that you get her into the game.
No, I wish, but no. Let's just say the conversation is off the table. Well, unless it's on the table alongside of, I will split half of my house with you and half of my...
We're going to role play that game we like to call Divorce.
We're going to cut each of the cats in half. You get one part, I get the other part.
That's whenever we find out she doesn't really do a katana as well as she does wakizashi.
And then there will be cheeseburgers.
Well, she's all about Ginsu. I'm going to get stabbed.
Oh, man.
Well, good thing the cam's not on. That way you don't have to worry about blocking out the blood.
Baby Max there? That's for me going, ow, please don't stab me more.
But
picture 5-foot girl with 9-foot sword that can kill trees. So Final Fantasy. Oh, okay. Everything Final Fantasy. Got it.
That's how it all works nowadays. Is your D&D now Final Fantasy?
No.
Is your video game Final Fantasy?
No.
Is this going to be Final Fantasy? Everything will be Final Fantasy.
I like the original Final Fantasy, before 8-bit could handle like swords that were 4 times bigger than the person wielding it.
And I hear bing.
Yeah, is my food done?
That's the text.
Ding, fries are done. Ding, fries are done. Oh, you know what? I forgot to. I was going to save this for tomorrow night, but I'll go ahead and do it tonight.
How is Santa supposed to see you if you're, You know, if I see camouflage Santa coming down my freaking chimney, I'm shooting him.
Hey, I gotta say that because of the last 60 seconds, Spider-Man: No Way Home is now officially a Christmas movie, and you're going to be forced to make your family watch it every year.
Why? I've got Die Hard.
Okay, Die Hard is almost 30 years old.
And
I'm just saying, there's still
Mariah Carey's like 75 years old, and they're still playing her damn song.
I still fap about the chick that played Chun Li because she looks hotter now than she did when she was in her 30s.
Yeah, and Hawkeye is now a Christmas TV series.
I took us down a bad path. I didn't mean to talk about the MCU.
MCU.
Oh,
you don't like the MCU?
No, I don't.
MCU too. Okay.
You started it, yeah.
Yeah, Bruce, you started it.
Well, anyway, no, I was just saying that, you know, I liked Spider-Man because I watched a copy of it the other day. It was good. I'm not going to give Disney another $1. They fucked up. They fucked up.
They need to unfreeze old Walt. Bring him back. He'll clean house.
He will clean that place up. There will be 4 employees at Disney.
There will be none of this SJW or Jews.
And this is the stream that got me banned from YouTube and Twitch.
Twitch, maybe, not YouTube.
Somebody said, wait, if I was Jewish, I'd have 12 days of gift giving and presents? I'm like, yeah, you got Jude out of that, didn't you?
God.
Bruce.
Dreidel. No, what's it? I'm trying to remember the Cartman version. All of a sudden I lost it. Damn it, now I can't. Jews. They are so dumb. Did you see the pandemic special? I haven't seen it, but I've seen clips of it. Cartman's actually a Jewish rabbi.
Yeah, I saw that. I haven't seen the pandemic specials. I don't have Paramount yet.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. No, I'm not subscribing to all these services just to see one show I want. I will listen, services out there. Yeah, good job. You changed from cable to all these streaming services, and now you're trying to do the same crap again where you bundle and everything. Not going to play that game. I'm going to pirate your shit again. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Yeah. I'm going down the old
and I hate saying that because I don't do that stuff. I've had somebody ask me for a couple of books I own. I'm like, I'm not sending you a PDF copy of a book I bought. Go buy it yourself if you support the company. You know, I don't steal software. I don't steal music. I don't steal, TV shows or video. But guess what? If you're going to be on some freaking 5-person large, streaming service and say this is the only place you can see it, well, guess what? It's time to sail.
Yeah. I'm not getting into Paramount. I have a Plex account for one reason, and then I have a Shudder account because in theory Shudder should be great. It's not. It's really not. I'm ashamed to be a Shudder subscriber.
I'm trying to think what I have. I have Amazon Prime, and that's it. Like, I don't have Netflix anymore, and I have access to Heathen Dog's Plex server.
Yeah, I have a friend like that. I want to ask Garrett on Second Ed Exalted.
I can't answer anything.
Pitch? What's the
I can't.
Pitch? What?
I can't answer anything on Second Ed because I've not played Second Ed.
Okay, so what's the elevator pitch for somebody who plays Western fantasy? What would you say to a guy like me who's a pretzel and beer swilling sack of shit? Hey man, I want you to play Exalted with us. How would you go about doing that?
I've got pretzels and beer.
There you go. Now you can play.
It's like second edition does not exist. It's like 4th edition D&D. Okay.
There's a 4th edition of D&D. When did that happen?
I don't know. I thought
somewhere
it died.
between. Yeah,
I thought it died with the Adventure Conqueror King system.
When TSR fell off the planet, it went away.
It hit a tree. Fourth Ed hit the tree. It's okay.
That's Magic the Gathering 2nd edition.
Ooh.
Man, I don't even know how.
Do you like power gaming?
The thing is that I'm starting to understand Chads are more and more every day, and I'm wondering about my sanity. And I'm not saying negativity about this, but I'm saying the fact that I don't want to have to buy OSR just to play a game that I already know how to play.
No, you shouldn't have to. And that's one thing. I mean, look, I agree with him on a whole ton of things, and then that's kind of one of them. I don't hate the OSR like he apparently does. He says he doesn't care about it, but the way he rails on it, I think he hates it. But the point is very well made. I have all my 2nd edition books still, plus some of the newer printings of the 2nd edition books. If somebody's going to sit at my table, I can just do that.
I might not buy OSR books, but I think as time goes on, you'll be finding me in those Indiegogos or such. I don't like Kickstarter. I really don't like Kickstarter at all. They've made their political stance. I don't want to contribute to them.
Agreed.
When Courtney came out as a God, I'm going to get political for a second. When Courtney came out as a fucking Bible banging socialist and he was burning Bibles and pretty much saying Saul Alinsky was great, I pretty much said, I'm fucking done with anything you'll ever publish. And he's not stopping. He's still steaming on. He's an idiot. And we saw tonight, that we can have people that are of Oriental descendancy.
Yeah, I wish I could have watched more of that. She was actually pretty cool sounding. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to agree with everything that she said, but the fact that she was like, look, you know what? There's nothing wrong with Oriental Adventures. You win right there. She didn't have to say anything more after that.
Yeah, and she did say a lot more after that, but I had to come over here and at least give Garrett a like. And
I realized, wait a minute, there's another stream I'm supposed to be watching.
Yeah, I know. So I got on my computer and got it to boot up and was watching hers on my phone and trolling a chat over there. But the thing is that it's really weird because we have to get political about things. Tinker doesn't want to get political, and I'm like,
oh, did he comment on that? Because I left after I made that comment.
She said something about like it's terrible that your wife suffered.
Oh no, I saw that because that derailed the conversation too. I saw that she's like, "What am I talking about?" No, I made a comment after that basically because they started getting that whole political thing. I was like, no, there's a difference between talking politics and sociopolitics or cultural commentary. You can't stay away from that. You have to talk about that because that's the why of what WotC's doing. You can't talk about what WotC's doing or any of these companies. Frog God, not Frog God, Evil Hat. Where they flat out come out and hate you. You have to talk about the social aspects of that, the sociopolitics, the cultural commentary of that, or you can't talk about it with any sort of fairness or intelligence at all. All you can say is they did it. Oh, so they did.
Yeah, and that's the limit of what I can talk about things in Tinkar's Tavern, because at a certain point you're discussing politics, and it might not be politics that other people are comfortable with, and all of a sudden now, oh my God, I'm a bad person, or I might get booted from the server because I said, some of these issues that 5e is having can be directly attributed to the ugly, fat blue hairs that WotC's employed. Or said that these are the most important writers we have. Now, the problem that I have with White Wolf, I'm going to tie this into White Wolf real quick. White Wolf was never exactly a right-wing company. In fact,
God, no.
They were pretty kind of left-wing.
Always, yes.
Cool. And I'll say even more often than not, most of your designers, most of your writers are going to be left of center.
Yeah, because gaming is an artistic endeavor, whether we like it or not. It's an artistic endeavor, and most artists are on the left.
Mm-hmm. So the thing is that they had a great product until like third ed vampire shit came out. And I don't know at one point where Exalted went from first ed to second ed. But every person I know that played first at Exalted, when second edition came out, they did that entire Pathfinder schism split where we're not going to play your new edition of a game that the first edition was perfect enough for us. We really enjoy this edition. And if this is a product you're going to try to sell us, which is eventually going to sell us back all our old memories, which we still haven't forgotten, we enjoyed them. But you're just here to try to republish it and keep the fucking lights on because you're running out of ideas to sell us. So let's make a new edition. I can understand that, but what they sold as second ed Exalted didn't sell. And within 90 days, my friends in Mattoon, my friends in Charleston, Illinois, they all were getting out of it. They were all either getting out of Exalted or they were just splitting with White Wolf and said, we're done. They screwed up with third ed on Vampire. They screwed up with second ed Exalted. We don't want to play their game.
Is it third ed? I've heard everybody call the new Vampire 5th edition.
And it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is.
It is about as fifth ed as it gets.
Well, no, I mean, not D&D. I've heard it actually just called fifth. I mean, I don't understand what's going on because I thought there were only 3 editions of the game. I could be completely wrong. Most of my collection is second edition Technocracy books for Mage. Like I could run a Technocracy campaign better than I could a straight Mage campaign. But my books are almost all second edition. Heathen Dogs, I think almost all of his are first edition. But I thought that those are all the same thing until the recent edition that just came out, and maybe there were 2 in there I missed. I don't know. Very possible.
The new stuff that they're putting out isn't as fun as the first ed stuff.
No, it's all homogenized also. You can actually have sane Malkavians. What the hell does that kind of sense does that make?
I'm pretty okay with never playing it. I don't ever want to play it. That sounds like the stupidest game I've ever heard of. Like, why would you want to play somebody that's barmy out of their head and then say, really, it's just an act? And
they don't have to be as crazy as presented.
Yeah. And the thing is that, Malkavians that are half sane, that's like saying, well, we're going to have gangrels who shower.
Right. Oh, did you ever see in the little character handbooks? And I only have one, and that's for Nosferatu. But did you ever see the Malkavian character sheet? That thing was hilarious. Like it was like somebody took it, cut it into little pieces, and then glued it back together and said, "There's your character sheet. Figure out where the dots are." I loved it.
I liked that one, and the other character sheet I liked was for human occupied landfill, which I don't know if you ever saw that. It was a good idea for an RPG, but it fell apart quick. If you had an idea where we're going to play in a dystopian modern era where vampires are real, but we're just regular people, you had skills like stabbing or shoving sharp things into people that scream and bleed, shooting things into people that scream and bleed. These are the skills. And it was a White Wolf project from Black Dog, and it didn't last. The only thing that was more poorly implemented was the solid Blaxploitation D20 adventure game, which I wanted it to succeed so well, and it just failed. Yeah, I bought that at one point, and boy, disappointment. I'm sorry, I wanted to play Shaft. What? Don't pay attention to my hands. I'm really not Irish. I'm not, promise. But it's just one of those things that it disappointed you. And like the second ed Exalted book, when you pick it up, you look at the artwork. The artwork is not nearly as impressive and just outlandish as first ed. First ed, by your 12th or 13th game session, you should be having like hand cramps from rolling all the D10s. That is a game that if you want to roll a lot of D10s, Exalted's your game. Don't play White Wolf, don't play Mage, play Exalted.
Yeah. Yeah, the joke is bring in the cement mixer to roll all the dice.
Yeah. And it was good for that. You would see people playing this game, and there would be 10 people in a room trying to play it. and to get them to cooperate enough to where they could each be heard was a pretty good effort. They were trying to have a game.
I wouldn't want to try to count all those successes.
My eyes would start to bleed at that point. I think Exalted is not a bad game. From what I've seen of it, everybody seemed to have fun. There was some aspects of it that I wasn't a real big fan of, and I never got a chance to play it because I just wasn't going to jump into a 11-person gaming group. Sorry. I like 4 to 6 people, 8 at most.
And this is making me angry. I'm trying to actually find an image of that Malkavian character sheet, and there are no images of it. I can't find. I know I saw it because I know the guy who had the book, and I read the book when I was considering playing one. I love that character sheet, but I ended up playing Nosferatu instead. I think I told you guys about that, how they sent me to mental health and my first sergeant because of the lyrics I wrote for my shock rocker.
No, I didn't hear about that.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, he thought that because I could write lyrics like that for a character, obviously I'm demented in real life. I'm like, you do understand that I'm playing a character with 0 charisma. I mean, I have no dots, like literally 0 dots in charisma. And the whole idea of the guy is to make Ozzy Osbourne look sane. He bit a head off a bat. I think I gotta up that a little bit, like, you know. And I had an NCO send me to get mental health check over that. I still have the lyrics.
They'll be publishing them sometime soon.
No, they're not good. That's the thing, is they weren't even good. Like, I had one song in there that was somewhat interesting. The rest of them were just, how can I make fun of religion? Because I mean, that's kind of what Vampire does, not in and of itself, but you know, religion and society. That was it. That's all I did. Like, whatever, dude. When I got sent to mental health, they talked to me and they said, "You're fine. Go away." Like, okay, thanks, bye. Like, it's just for a game. Like, do you take the game seriously? I mean, it's a freaking game.
It's like, wait, can I get out a PT for a few days for this?
I was in the Air Force. We didn't do that. Oh, talking about the Air Force, you guys may not have heard about this. Yeah, the Air Force sent a message to all of us on, I guess, Monday or Tuesday, saying that tongue and quill. And I don't know if you guys have the same thing for the Army, and Navy, but in the Air Force we have tongue and quill, and I do keep a copy of it because in case I do have to write a memo or whatnot, it's just good reference, right? The Air Force now authorizes the use of personal pronouns in official signature blocks. Yeah.
My personal pronouns are fuck and you.
Nope, you can only use he. You can only use the 3, the he or she or they. But I won't respect it. I will never call an individual they ever. No. It just won't happen.
Not gonna happen.
But what if I want to identify as a potato?
I don't care what you want to. Look, you can identify as whatever you want. I see you as a dude sitting there. Potato. That's what you are. So you can be a potato player. I'm still going to call you a dude. If you want to be called something else, present yourself as something else. Anyway. Oh well, I can't find it. I know I saw it. What I liked about it is, if anybody knows what I'm talking about, it's basically the White Wolf character sheet, except for somebody cut it up and then essentially taped it back together in like weird angles. So you'd find like 2 of your what were these dots? I forget the 9 attributes. Like 2 of your strength dots here, and then you have to look like 2/3 down the page to another little section that was taped in there to find the rest of the strength dots, and you only know it's strength because underneath it you see dexterity, you know, in the first 3 dots of dexterity or something. You know, it's just the way it was cut up. It's literally like somebody just sliced it up and taped it back together out of order.
Nice.
So I love that character sheet. I don't know why I was mentioning that, but I did. I'm not even a huge fan of the Vampire game, but you know, dude. But oh no, the point was, you know, how they've changed some of the stuff in 5th edition. And like I said, I got a copy of it from a friend of mine. She's like, "Hey, this is what I'm gonna be playing next. What do you think?" And I just cried. I was like, I don't even like White Wolf games that much. I don't like, you know, the company and how it presents itself. But this is just so god awful. I'm like, ugh.
Legit. Our dogs are going crazy.
Somebody's
Psycho
got some
puppers.
energy.
Oh, yeah. Just a little bit.
Back to topic. Oh, come on. This is Gatekeepers. We gatekeep everybody, including ourselves.
He agrees.
All right. So
I got to ask, aside from all of this, I was wanting to talk, and we've got Max here, so I can bounce this off him. Gatekeepers seems to be, we seem to be doing fairly well. We're regular on our streaming days that we decide we're going to stream on these days.
Is that what it looks like to everybody out there?
well, we eat our fiber. That's why we're so regular.
We do a weekly stream either Tuesday or Wednesday. That's pretty consistent for 10 guys that are notoriously in a hobby that is built upon I'm going to be late.
But I think the last 5 streams will be like, are we supposed to have a show tonight? Yeah, who's hosting it? I don't know.
They don't need to see behind the curtain on that.
Sausage making.
So I just want to say, like, I think it might be a good idea for us to not only talk about the topic at hand, but if there's like interesting things that have happened during the week, this would be a good way for us to talk about it. I'm not trying to take out the steam from the Friday game, or the Friday chill stream.
Look, the Friday chill stream is my stream. We can do whatever on Gatekeepers. I don't care.
Yeah,
I do whatever you want on your streams.
I was just saying, I honestly think that we talk about the heavy-handed topic, like tonight was Exalted, which is a really good game system for people that want to play that type of game. And there's a huge amount of people out there, because the people that I know that play Exalted also play Second Ed Shadowrun.
Yeah.
They don't play Fourth Ed.
That, or they also go into like cyberpunk or even steampunk-ish type games too. Because there is a lot. There are some steampunk elements in Exalted, so they can actually make that kind of do that shift just a little bit, also.
But the main thing is that for bringing in a guy like myself, you would basically say, "Hey, we're going to play Exalted, and here's the type of game it is." How would you explain it?
I mean, if that's what we want to do for Gatekeepers, that's fine. See, when I think of Gatekeepers, I think of, okay, we're a bunch of dungeon masters, game masters, referees, animators, whatever game we're playing, right? That have experience, and we approach things differently. So I kind of see us, at least for me, and this is not to refute anything you said. I mean, hey, if we want to talk about what's happened in the week or talk about an individual game or whatever, let's do that. But I see us as like more like answering questions and how I do it versus how Garrett does it versus how you do it. That's one of the reasons why I thought we could have done so much more with that stream, with like the religion stream, is I want to just read out of a book. I can do that on my own stream. That's actually segment 1 of my own stream. I want to be here and talk about how does a game master handle this? How can I use Exalted in my gameplay, whether I'm doing Exalted or something else, or specifically talk about Exalted because things have come up in your games where you're like, you know what? Other people may want to know about how I run or I play or I handle Exalted.
And truthfully, that was the initial thought process, because Todd, who's in the chat, he was supposed to be my guest.
Are you saying everything up? Say it. Be a man, say it.
But he's DMing us this very soon, and I don't want to lose my character.
Okay, so. That's fair.
That's acceptable.
I mean, I can bribe him, but still.
Todd doesn't own me like he owns you, so Todd, you screwed it up. Hey, why won't my computers just shut off? My lights are dim. What's going on here?
Well, the wife's telling you it's time to go. That's like her playing the music, Let's see. Well, here's one interesting that Bruce, you may actually like. It looks like they have announced a tabletop Dark Souls game coming out, RPG.
A tabletop game that's supposed to infuriate you to hell. I hate this game. You start throwing the board against the wall and throwing the pieces across the room. Oh, it's like me every time I play chess. Okay.
I've actually played the board game for Dark Souls, and
well, this is an actual TTRPG.
I don't need that. We already have that.
Yeah, we have that. It's called Dungeons and Dragons. Don't let any character have more than one hit point.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, First Ed. Okay, got it.
And I'm gonna dog on First Ed and the OSR people for just a second because I can. I love First Ed. I love where Basic came from. I love Second Ed. But I'm gonna tell you that the majority of times that I've played those games, and I tell people I need you to make your roll for whatever thieving skill you have. The moment I say that, it goes to hell because they fail. And they fail, and they fail, and they fail, and they fail, and they fail. And the way it used to be was, if you fail on your lockpicking check, you fail on your discover trap check, you can't try until next level. So, like, when Second Ed and before, when I had thieves in my game, they were notoriously the first ones to go up to the cleric like, oh my God, I need help. In every game I ran. And the TPKs always started with the thief. So I'm just saying that when Second Ed went to Third Ed and Third Ed said, okay, listen, certain roles, you can take these and you can span them out for 20 minutes. And it's like you rolled a 20, not a natural 20, but a 20 on your check. Figure out your bonuses. Here's the roll.
Just as a comment to one of the Dungeon Hobby Shop, you're wrong. RPG has been co-opted by video gamers.
Correct.
Although I hate saying TTRPG, but RPG has been co-opted by video gamers. So when you say RPG now, they start thinking Final Fantasy or The Witcher or some nonsense like that.
You know, I've never played any of the Witcher games.
I played the first one almost all the way through, and the second one for about 5 minutes, and the third one has been waiting for me to play it. And I hear that's the best one.
Yeah, I watched a friend of mine play that, and it looked kind of nice, but I've got shit to do.
I let them. Well, video games make $1 billion. Tabletop games do not, so they kind of won.
Yeah, I'm happier with all my miniatures than I ever was playing Dark Souls or any of them crappy games that people are all too eager. I want to get hate clicks and stream this video game and watch as their hours tick away as they continue to fail at a game. No, I'm good. If I wanted to score all night, I'd pretend to be the fucking Dallas Cowboys at a bar trying to take some girl home. Oops. Did I say that aloud?
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, that's just one of those things I've just grown accustomed to. It's one of those changes. You know how I am. I hate change in like almost all its forms. That's just one of those changes that I've accepted because I learned while doing videos over the last few years. If I say RPG, all of a sudden I'm throwing in all these circles of people that are playing like 4X games and JRPGs and CRPG, all these weird just little terms I didn't know existed before. But if you say TTRPG, everybody knows that you're talking about tabletop games. You're throwing in the right categories. You're throwing in the right groups. That's just unfortunately the modern vernacular now. I don't have to like it, but if I want to advertise correctly, bent the knee. I didn't bend the knee to shit. Have you seen my fucking channel? Who the fuck are you?
I've been under 500 subscribers since the start for the past 12 years. I don't give a shit about your feelings.
Apparently somebody hasn't come over to my channel and actually watched a video or two of mine if you think that I bent the knee to anybody. I just understand that some things are fucking reality.
I mean,
I'm messing with you, dude. Just
talking about.
Before we get the hate comments in there, I'm messing with you, man.
Yeah.
And if you want to go over and check out some of his content, there's his channel.
There you go. Yeah, Legion of Myth, come check it out.
Go ahead, check out.
Look at all the segment 2 stuff. I'm sure you'll be happy. I let it.
I didn't let shit happen.
Yep. I stood there as they walked by with their TT signs and added in front of my RPG and just taped it right there. I'm like, what are you doing? Well, we're taping a TT in front of your RPG. Oh, I like TTs. Oh, but these are different TTs. Oh,
I like titties. Everybody loves titties.
And there's Bruce's. If you guys want to go over and give them both a like on some of their videos, and even some subscribes would be amazing.
I like pen and paper. Pen and paper, that even dials it back further.
No, I actually, I like the term also, pen and paper. The
So
big problem for me.
PPRPG.
What's it?
So PPRPG.
Really.
Pen and paper RPG. There we go. PPRPG.
That's the old Palladium joke. Hey, roll your PP. Okay. Fiscal prowess. No. The part of the problem is, and again, obviously, Dungeon Hobby Shop doesn't know me, which is fine. I didn't let it happen because I wasn't part of the hobby at that point. Well, I was, but I was very far in the peanut gallery at that point because I was working on some professional growth. Pretty much as soon as 3rd edition D&D dropped, I decided that D&D sucks, gaming sucks, and I should probably try to get a paycheck, a bigger paycheck than what I was making, and I focused on my job. I didn't really come back into the hobby full-time, full bore back until about 2000 and... when did I go back to Germany? 2015-ish. And that's when I realized that the hobby had changed and weird things were happening and I didn't understand it. And now I realized what that was. That was the woke culture taking over. And I hate it. I rail against it. There are some things, some changes, some evolution, we'll say, I accept. And, there's a lot that I don't. You see a lot of RPG in my ads?
I have no idea.
If I do hashtags, I do to hashtag TTRPG because that goes to the right place.
Same thing with like on Twitch. If you're going to do tabletop RPG like discussions or whatever, you have
to select tabletop. You can't select role playing. Yep. And I know people who will report you for that shit.
You can, but they will actually not reward you the way you need to be.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I mean, I can scream at YouTube all day. I will never use Twitch. I think Twitch is stupid. I would punt Twitch to the ocean if I could. But I don't live in California, and I don't give a shit about California. I'm just waiting for the fucking fault.
Come on, Earthquake. Go sometime during my life, please.
God damn it. Give me some fucking joy, you cunts.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
And there's people in New Mexico going, oh, we're almost to that oceanfront property. Pricing is going to go up.
I've got friends in New Mexico. I lived there for a couple of years. You're probably right. But I feel the same way about the East Coast. Pretty much, Northern Virginia and north, that can fall into the ocean as well.
I actually like West Virginia. Can we keep West Virginia? I like
Northern Virginia Nova isn't considered. I'm talking like Northern Virginia, Maryland, DC.
Those places.
Yeah, and we're moving up from there. And the eastern half of Pennsylvania, you can have that crap too.
Whoa. Hold on. You're going to get rid of a lot of good pizza trucks.
This is true.
There will be warning. It's the end of the fucking world. They can move.
I know, right? Hey, you guys are getting put on mask mandates again. You better get the fuck out of there.
Oh, he's probably mentioning RPG Digest. Oh, yeah. I mean, that could be. RPG Digest is the name of our Sunday stream. Yeah. That's cool. I mean, everybody's got their opinion. I mean, anybody's heard. I'm not going to be mad at Dungeon Hobby Shop for what he said. Think about it. How many times I ranted about anytime somebody says, when a necromancer casts a spell, they get a +5. If you talk like that, you're a fucking retard. But you know what? I also know that language has changed, and the Air Force is now allowing stupid ass pronouns in official signature blocks. So the world's moving by me. I just get to sit here and say, "Get off my lawn."
I agree, Hungry Ewok.
Why do you think I got a baby face?
Just let go.
If Sandra doesn't have to hold on anymore, just let go, baby. Just let go.
Let it go.
Start going
let it go.
Start going over there and petting it. It's okay. You're such a good fault. You can let go. It's all right. Let go.
It's not your fault anymore.
Oh, I'm out of this stream. This stream sucks. I'm out.
No, but what do you guys got else on top of to kick around?
I would love to talk about Exalted. I just don't know crap about it.
I don't have a 15 years of playing Exalted. I'm sorry.
We could talk Earth Dawn.
Oh, drink.
Oh, I actually have booze in this too.
So do I.
Wait, are
That'll-
you?
My beer with my.
Oh, wait. Bruce, bring that back.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm waiting for the wife to yell because you fruited the beer.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of made it an ale.
Kind of. It adds a little bit of a different taste. And the
Hey, look, when I lived in Germany for 10 years, right? They put Coca-Cola in their beer. It was like, oh, Germany's got the best beer. Yeah, that's you can look it up. It's not everybody does that, but yes, they the beer and Coke. It's like half and half.
Well, I had this orange sitting on my desk for the past 2 days. I'm like, I better eat that. I know how to eat it. I'll beer it and then I'll drink it and get drunker.
Hell, Todd, I should have just told you to drive up here. It wouldn't take you about 10 minutes, but oh well.
Does he live in?
We'll wait. Do 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 do.
Uh-oh. There. That's what I was waiting for. In all caps, too.
Bruce, she called you a fruit.
Yeah, I know. I don't give a shit.
You know what? You like that beer, don't you?
I love this beer.
There you go. Then who can? You know, I would. Excuse me. When I changed from drinking real alcohol to drinking Kahlua, people are like, "Oh my god, I will never drink that." I'm like, "Great, because I brought the bottle for me, not for you."
I've even got an extra beer next to me.
It's like I don't care what you like. I brought this stuff for me, so the less people I have to fight, the better off I am.
Yeah, my favorite beer of all time. I can't get in Texas anymore. They stopped shipping Honey Brown down even into Oklahoma.
Wow.
I am so fucking pissed.
I guess there's a reason you need to come north.
No,
I thought that was a strip club for a second. Like, what are you talking about, Honey Brown?
Honey Brown beer from Genesee Brew House.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good.
Todd's trying to get us back on track here. Exalted is the White Wolf take on anime fantasy. Hey, we already went through that. We're done.
It has good art. It really has good art. I will say that about
and I will also say that the storyteller's guide, the first page in is boobs.
Wait a minute, put that on the screen.
No, can't do it.
Ken, look, today on YouTube, I saw somebody get shot, and I saw a commercial that was full frontal. So if you can't show artistic boobs,
well, I can show them on YouTube.
Oh yeah, you got the other side. That's right. God, I'm so glad I don't do crap on Twitch anymore. Or do I? I don't care. Like if my Twitch account were to go away, like you're suspended, I'd be like, oh no.
Kind of fire. That'd be our response.
Like really?
I hate to say that. I'm kind of on that same boat. I'm thinking about actually moving even all my gaming stuff over to my
make a second channel though. Don't do it on the same channel as this one. I'm just saying that from experience. That's a bad move. If there's one thing that I should do to restart Legion of Myth is everything video game, everything comics, everything anime, I should just dump. Bruce got to see one of my old my first video ever on YouTube the other day. What did you call me? You called me Ian Holm?
Yes. You look like Ian Holm out of Alien.
Yeah.
You know that ageless quality that Ash has about him? That was Max. Max looked like Ian Holm.
And I talked really quietly, and I said, hey, this is what this game does. I don't even remember the name of the game, but we're going to move forward now, and we're going to click this button for the game.
Or whatever it is.
Yeah. Oh, I was like,
and you gotta get the finger pointing going. Like,
oh no, that would have been too animated.
We're gonna be going.
No, he was completely like stoic.
Yeah, it's not what you see now. Like,
the years have not been kind to Max.
It's John's take on great sci-fi. Does that help you out?
Oh. Whoa.
Okay.
Ouch.
He was very not animated. He was very stoic. He had a level voice, kind of like Shauner is now. Not negative, not giving any negativity, Shauner, but Shauner has a very smooth delivery. And
Yes.
I actually would think that Shauner has more intonation, even though he's kind of softer, but he had more intonation. I was very monotone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see what I like is I'm sitting there watching Shauner, and he's like totally laid back talking, and then he goes, "He's an idiot," and it's just out of nowhere. It's like, wait, what?
When Shauner
It's kind of like
political, I fall out of my chair because I'm not expecting it.
Oh, and then he's like, I expect him to go, yeah. When they make a comment about why are things like this, for him just to come back with, because you touch yourself at night. Yeah, I'm just waiting for that line to come out of his mouth. He is awesome. I love his videos. I haven't watched as many as I want, but
that's my story for everybody right now. There are so many people's videos I'm supposed to watch, either to help them out because they're small channels and I want to give them some clicks and likes and loves and so forth. I just have no time. And I'm back. Oh, by the way, I'm back to typing now. I started typing the other day again, so I'm back to like full time writing the next 70 some pages I need for this book.
Your RPG book or what book?
So that's what you're doing at home for work. Okay.
Yeah, project number 4. Yeah, well, I don't have a real job right now. All I have to do is check my email and make sure that if somebody emails me, I respond to it because I don't have a real job. I still don't. So yeah, that's what I'm doing at home work.
And yet you're getting paid for it.
Yeah.
Okay. What's funny is you said on Sunday that you got that thing saying nobody was supposed to go into the office.
Oh, it's great. No, that so I think it was on Friday last week. It was this whole thing.
Friday.
No, nobody's teleworking. Get your butt in here. Everybody must come to work. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's Christmas week. That's the week they tell everybody to go home. But because somebody wouldn't have the balls to make a decision out here, they're like, you will come in. And then there was a response back from like this lieutenant colonel said, I own this building and we're not opening it. So if you want to come to work, you can stand outside on your cell phones. Also, we got a message. Okay, nobody has to come to work. Just telework from home. Get your projects done.
And then for us, it was we got an email on Monday going, well, we're not going to have anybody in the office until the 10th of January or whatever.
Oh, my birthday.
And that's when we'll pick up rotations again. It's like, oh, great. The week I'm supposed to go back in, you pick up rotation. Couldn't have lasted one more week. But that's okay.
Yeah, they're hoping that my security clearance issues are resolved by the time by the time we go back to work. I don't think so. I'm not holding my breath on that.
Before all this, truthfully, one of the Joint Chiefs of Staff is going to come out and be like, I'd say, Bill, that man Max Layout is not exactly the type of man we are looking for to be doing contracted business with.
I'm not a contractor. I'm a full-on government civilian. I'm a shill. I got my shots. Like, not that I wanted to, but it's either that or don't get paid. And I don't believe in the whole Tim Pool thing. You have to stand up for your rights. I love to stand up for my rights. Who's going to pay me what I make right now if I do? So go fuck yourself.
I would love to show you some places in Tejas, but I don't think you want to come all the way to Tejas. You just got settled in Alabama. So,
Alabama.
I like Alabama. The other part is that my job, what I do is so niche that I can't just go right. Like people keep thinking, oh, you're a computer guy. You can do whatever you want. You can work cybersecurity. You can work servers. I can't work a server. I can't work cybersecurity. I know just enough about it. The problem with my job is I touch everything. So I know a little bit about everything. I know a little bit about API scripting. I know a little bit about workstations. I know a little bit about servers. I know a little bit, and VM. I know a little bit about networking. I know a little bit about firewalls. I know a little bit about security. However, I am not good enough to be even tier 1 in any of them by itself. Now, I know width-wise, I know more than a lot of people, and it's funny because like the network guys be, you know so much, only because I'm not doing something network related right now. The CSTs, so the computer technicians, they're like, wow, you know a lot about networking, only because you don't. My knowledge because of what I work in is more wide than deep, and it's just the nature of what I do. But I'd be closer to telephony than anything else. So. I don't want to work on telephone switches. Gross. So it's actually kind of hard for me to get a job. Also understand that the government, our technology is like 20 years behind what the corporate world's doing. So me working on this stuff here is like, all right, I got a job for a while. And the real world's like, why are you still working on that crap? We don't know anybody that knows that stuff. I'm like, all right.
My ICQ just went off. Excuse me.
Oh, he's got to boot up his MIRC.
I have to connect to the web. Hold on.
Oh, what was it? There was somebody sent me a video. I think it was originally a TikTok, but it was like this generation will never know the true struggles of this sound, and it plays the dial-up modem connecting. Yeah, and the kids are all looking at each other like, "What the hell is that?" Oh. And all the adults are like, "Oh." You can just see the look on their face just from the sound.
I saw a video where they put some kids on a 9600 baud, not even 2400 or 1200, but a 9600 baud connection, and these kids are like, how did anything get done back then? And I'm thinking, my God, we ran BBSs on 1200. Like, I mean, my Max Liao name, the reason I kept it for so long is because that's what I was called on BBSs. There you go.
And then your mom picks up the phone and disconnects everything.
Like, Mom, I was in a raid.
3 in the morning, you're trying to do this and not wake up mom and dad.
Oh, my favorite was when I was trying to call into a BBS and I missed dial, and somebody'd pick up the phone. Hello, who is this? And all they hear is, God damn it! Who's calling me again? Click. Like, oops, wrong. You got the wrong number.
Yeah, I think he just initiated the PTSD on my wife. And then.
There's the ICQ sound.
Just as painful as Mariah.
Hey, I don't know if I can log into it. I'd have to find my account info, but I have a 5-number ICQ account.
Wow.
Mine was 6.
Mine was 45.
And I just most of my friends were like 8. But yeah, I was like, wow, I should hold on to this. And what did I use ICQ for? I don't even know what I used ICQ. Oh, because it was the only messenger. Because I actually used Trillion. If you remember Trillion back in the day, it would combine ICQ, Messenger, and whatever else. So I had friends in all of them. So I just used Trillion and have it connect all. God, that's dating me. That was like 1997 or something like that. I was still in the Air Force then.
Yeah, because I think we didn't even get our first actual computer until after I got back from the military.
I bought a computer in 90, I think it was 96 for MechWarrior 2. And then MechWarrior 2 came out and I was so disappointed.
Then you're like, what am I going to do with this paperweight now?
What did I do with it? I don't even know what I did with that computer. Oh, I played a lot of Ascendancy.
I played a lot of StarCraft.
Yeah,
and I got hacked by Diablo fuckers.
What are we talking about? What's going on here?
I have no idea.
This is Gatekeepers. We gatekeep ourselves.
Well, here's the other thing I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Why can't Gatekeepers make a brand?
What do you mean?
Well, no. I have a product of just some system neutral 10-page pamphlets or less, $4 PDFs.
Wait. 10-page pamphlet?
A 3-page or 10-page.
What do you think this is? First ed?
Something small. We don't. No, Garrett. No, we don't need the 3 pages of fucking fold-out art.
Bullshit. It's all about the art.
It would be great if we had artists, but I have a friend that could do it, but he's already got commissions.
Hey, Todd's right. Back in my day, it was, when I was up here in the old Minnesota, we were always talking about the East and the West and the lutefisk and the sauerkraut and,
I'm going to just play fucking Papers, Please after this.
Papers, Please.
And then have the hot pot or the hot dish.
Oh yeah, you got to have the hot dish. You just go in the refrigerator. What? Oh, well, yeah. I mean, every grandma's got to have bars.
That's the thing. Like, you guys call them bars. They're like either Rice Krispie treats or granola.
They're cookies, they're Rice Krispie treats, they're brownies, they're whatever the hell they want to be. Like, and that always drove me. It's like down south when everybody says Coke. Like, would you like a Coke? Sure. Which one? A fucking Coke, because you said Coke, you moron. But that's Minnesota with the bars. Like, oh, would you like to have a bar? Grandma, no, not that one. That's your fiber bar. I don't want to touch that one. No, please.
Oh God.
But no, as far as making a pamphlet, I've been talking about that, with Heathen Dog, about having some sort of like newsletter or whatever for, for Legion of Myth. But all that stuff takes time, and that's the problem. It's like it's finding time to do it. I think it's a good idea.
I think the idea of having a product come out would be great.
Oh yeah. A product will expand. Excuse me. A product will expand YouTube channels. And vice versa, sure. Wonderfully.
I mean, it's nice that Garrett has a merch shop, but I really would rather make a product for the tabletop gaming I enjoy.
No, I agree.
RPGs.
Well, hey, the Legion of Myth Redbubble store has all the stickers that you could ever want. We have family friendly and some not so family friendly stickers that you can. All about tabletop role playing games.
Orc lives matter.
And green lives matter. We have both. We don't just support the orc community. We support the entire green skin community with green lives matter.
Do you remember Fast Forward Entertainment?
Oh, sounds vaguely familiar, but no.
Back from 2000 to 2006, Fast Forward Entertainment was the ultimate in cringe D20. They made a campaign where it was nothing but orcs, bugbears, and other humanoids. And you got a chance to play monsters doing monster things. And not much else happened. They put out like 7 or 8 hardcovers, all within like a month or so. And they sucked. But I don't want to write products like that. That's my main thing.
There we go.
He's got that. There we go. There you go. There's the Legion. Hey, show that hat. That shot. No. The tampons of the coast.
Tampons of the coast.
Because everybody should have a tampon. I have a shirt, but if you want to get a hat, you can support. Oh, there's the sticker right there. You can support your local. WotC, and show them how much you care and how much you appreciate the work they put into your game with your tampons of the coast, sensitivities and safe spaces hat.
And for an sensitivity and safe spaces game.
The half orc one's pretty cool too, and so is the drow one. That's Heathen Dog's shirt. That's the shirt Heathen Dog wanted. Players are the natural enemy of a good story. Player agency not allowed. If you've seen his videos, they've garnered us some hate. But hey, you know what? That's what we're about. If you want to hate click my channel, you please hate click it. Love it.
I gotta ask, how many of the shirts have you sold that I helped inspire the gaze attack?
None. Wait. You mean the touch attack? None yet, but there are a couple people who said that they might get it as a dice bag.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get it as a shirt.
Although I will say I do like the way your masks with the demon lord and the orc. I do like those.
That orc is the best-selling product on the site. Nobody's bought a single demon mask. I actually own one of these orc ones also.
I might have to get one of those, but I really just the thought of me having to wear a mask makes me want to punch Fauci in the head until my hand breaks.
Huh. Well, I hope my site doesn't inspire you to, violence.
No. Just the thought of me having to wear a mask. I'm about 3 steps away from moving to Florida. If this guy can't figure it out what Texas is supposed to be like.
Yeah, well, if I go back home, I'll probably be lynched.
Yeah, I can't go back to Illinois. I'm sorry, Garrett.
Yes, you can.
No, I can't.
I lived in Illinois twice, and I can tell you that both times were not the happiest times of my life.
I was there.
Well, you were outside. You were also outside of St. Louis.
Yeah, but the entire state's run by Chicago. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but also the Chicago supports almost the entirety of the state. So
No, it does not
it's
support it. It sucks.
Yeah,
away.
define the word
It
support.
actually does.
Support,
Monetarily.
like, it draws all the money out from people and it sucks it into the beltway of I-80 and funnels it into people that are pieces of shit. Yeah, then it supports
They
it.
actually did there was a doc that they put together from a third party independent that actually showed that most of the money, tax, and stuff like that from Chicago went to a lot of the down south of I-80 places.
Are those city taxes or state taxes? If they're state taxes, that's kind of how it works. The entire
County.
state. County taxes?
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
Oh yeah, Cook County is one of the highest tax rates in Illinois.
In Illinois, already actually, it's state tax under what was that criminal's name? Blagojevich? Wasn't that?
One of four governors that was in prison at the same time.
Yeah, that's right. Because Ryan was too, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yep.
But yeah, I was there for Blagojevich, and I have to say I was actually kind of surprised about the tax rate. The problem is they don't get you at the nominal tax rate; they get you with all the stupid vehicle taxes, and then we're gonna tax you walking across the street. Let me tell you, St. Clair County. Oh, you want to live in an apartment here? Come over to the city hall, and you can only pay in check or money order. Nobody uses checks or money order anymore. But if you want to live in an apartment in our county, you have to pay us $125 on top of that. St. Clair County robs you also.
Wow.
Well, I lived in Caswell County on the border, and I was taxed for the apartment I rented, which Garrett played D&D in Pathfinder when it was still in a beta test. And I was taxed $60 a year, but I had to pay it with money orders because they wouldn't accept check. I
know Illinois. You know why? They don't accept checks. Like that was the thing that made me angry. Is they only accepted checks, or I had to go pay for a money order. I'm like, what kind of backwards ass state is this?
No. The money order is they tax that, and then they tax. It's just everything in that state makes me want to go punch puppies. And
so my wife got her driver's license in Illinois, and that's why I know that nobody from Illinois can drive, because she successfully got a driver's license from there. And then when she told me how they had her drive, I just beat my head against the wall and said, okay, at least I'm safer beating my head against the wall than being on an Illinois road.
As a trucker, I can say Illinois roads are they're about 4 steps below Texas roads, which are never maintained to a standard that I should ever be happy with, because I drive heavy trucks and these roads suck down here, but they're still better than the ones in Illinois, which would vibrate the shocks off your vehicle.
Worst roads I ever drove on was in Michigan. Like every time I go visit Heathen Dog, God, those roads are god awful. Like
I think the worst.
What?
The worst place I think for like automobile type taxes is for my personal what I've looked at. No, Iowa.
Really?
Iowa has a tiered system. You could, if you have a brand new car, it's based on what the MSRP of your car was.
Well, Alabama kind of does the same thing, because my wife pays a lot less in vehicle tax than I paid this year. So I guess I'm kind of used to that from Minnesota as well. But you know what Iowa means, right?
Idiots out walking around.
Yeah, I owe the world an apology.
Yeah.
AIDS, another Iowan discovered sex.
Unfortunately, that's where a lot of the people from Illinois are going, is there, Indiana, and Missouri.
I almost had a job at Rock Island, which is technically in Illinois, but I would have lived on the Iowa side, but I didn't get that job.
I'm sorry. Rock Island is down, but you got to live on the Iowa side.
Yeah, that actually would have been amazing, because I'm literally an hour and a half from Quad Cities.
Yeah, that was the job I interviewed right before the job down here that I got in Babalamistan.
Babalamistan.
It's not bad in Bamalama.
What's that?
It's not bad in Bamalama.
No. Actually, I like it so far.
Yeah, because my uncle was stationed down, where was it? The Army base down there. Also his EMP
Redstone?
training. No, it's down in southern Alabama.
Southern Alabama. I don't know about it.
It's Army. So he was an MP, and he was it's funny because he was getting ready to get out, and he was training officers and enlisted at the MP school down there, and he was getting ready to retire and everything else. And the colonel brought him in, and he goes, had his paperwork for his retirement. He says, "You sure you want to do this?" And he goes, "Well, yes, sir. 20 years I'm getting out." And he says, "Are you really sure?" And this was on his day off. He got called in.
Oh crap! You talking Fort Rucker?
No, McClellan.
It's not on my list here.
Yeah, Fort McClellan.
Did it get bracked?
But it could have been. But anyways, he got called in on his day off, went down there, and then, of course, the colonels and above get the promotion list before everybody else does. Mm-hmm. And he goes, "Are you really sure you want to do this?" And he goes, "Well, is there a reason I shouldn't?" And he threw down the list, and he was the top one on the list, so he was guaranteed to get his 7, which was more money in retirement.
Sure.
So he had to sign up for another 2.5 years.
Well, I guess I can go another 2.5 years. This is fun.
And he spent them at the school training, so it's not like it was and he wasn't like a drill instructor or anything else like that. He was actually one of the classroom trainers.
Because of how I was unceremoniously let out of the Air Force. No, I have an honorable discharge for anybody who cares. But I would have actually tried to stay in. But what happened was I denied retainability. That's a big deal in the Air Force. So they're like, "You're going to where the hell? North Dakota. I mean, Grand Forks. You're going to Grand Forks." I'm like, "No, I'm not." They're like, well, because I'm like, that's not on my dream sheet at all. And they're like, "Well, that's too bad. You are the staff sergeant on this base in Air Mobility Command that has been here the longest. Unless we can get somebody to take the slot for you, you are going to oh my God, Grand Forks." And so I called up Grand Forks. I said, "Hey, what do you have for education?" They're like, "Go to Minneapolis." I'm like, "I'm from Minneapolis. Do you think I'm going to go there to go to school?" No. Actually, I'm from east of Minneapolis, but still. So I was like, "This is bad." So I just said, "No, I'm not going to go." I deny retainability. Instead of extending to take the job, because I'd have to extend to do it, I'm not going to extend. They said, "Okay, well, if you do that, then you have to get out." I'm like, 18 months from, because at this point I'm like, I had everything was good. This was right before the .com bubble burst and screwed me over. And I'm like, everything's great. I'm like, I don't need this. I've got 3 jobs lined up for me. I'll pick one, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Also, the .com bubble burst and there's nothing. I'm telling you, my last day, I was like, what do I want to do for a job when I get back home? Because the Air Force is like, "You're gone, some bitch. You said no to North Dakota. You're out. All right, bye."
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah, I actually had to, when I tried to get back in, I had to have them fix my RE code on my DD-214.
You went back in?
I tried to.
Okay.
Dude, I was so desperate. I told my mom that I was going to go commit a felony so that I could get 3 hots and a cot. She was afraid. And I was.
Jeez.
But then I got the job in Kuwait, and that completely changed everything. Completely bombed that interview. Hindsight being 2020, I know why I got the job now, but I completely bombed that interview. Shouldn't have got the job. And the guy says right at the end of the interview, he said, "All right, well, I think you're gonna be a good fit for the job, but there's one catch." "What's the catch?" "Well, the job's in Kuwait." "All right, what's the catch?" I didn't care. Like, it's work. I get to go to another country. I'm all about that. Let's do it. So yeah, I worked in Kuwait for a year.
Kuwait's not fun.
What's that? I liked Kuwait.
It's not fun. The restaurant scene in Kuwait did not impress Bruce.
Oh, wait, well, where were you?
Shit. What's the base that got updated in 98 through 2000?
Arif John?
Yes.
Oh, that's why. You were down in the Fahahil area. I was up at Camp Doha.
I can never remember it right because it's got like a little bit too many apostrophes in there.
Yeah. No, I went down to Arif John one time and I said, "I'm glad I don't work in this shithole." I didn't like Fahahil. I didn't like that entire area. No, I was up at Camp Doha right before it closed. So I was there 2003, 2004. I loved the Doha area. I lived in Rigay. And it was so close to Kuwait City. I could do pretty much whatever I wanted. I had all the malls and so forth. It was awesome.
Now, Bruce wasn't allowed to enjoy beer. Bruce wasn't allowed to enjoy alcohol. Bruce wasn't allowed to enjoy anything and my day job was driving a skid steer in 130-degree heat. So,
yeah, that's kind of messed up. Usually the Navy folks went to Doha, Qatar. They didn't go to Kuwait. That's interesting that you were there.
CB.
What's that?
CB. My reserve time was a CB.
Yeah, I'm not saying there weren't any, but
well, yeah, he was a CB, so he was a construction guy.
Yeah, I will say that I did love it when people didn't cover their cars or park under somewhere covered, and the tires would either melt or explode. We had an incident where they had cans of WD-40 in a shed, and it got so hot in the shed, the entire thing exploded. They thought it was a missile attack. Yeah, we all had to dress and mop for a second, and then somebody's realized, they're like, stand down, stand down, stand down. Like, what happened? Well, a shed exploded, or some cans in a shed exploded because they were so hot. Like, all right, well,
that solved it.
Yeah, right. I had a good time in Kuwait, though.
I'm envy you for a bit, but I'm not really impressed with Kuwait, and I'm sorry, but I just.
No, that's fine. I like being overseas, though. Just generally speaking, I've had a good time in every country I was in. We'd take people like Garrett there, Army man, who were never allowed off base, and we would see what's the statute of limitations on this. We would sign MWR letters for him and take him to like Kuwait City and so forth.
I'm just gonna say that my time in was okay when I was a shipboard sailor. When I got on my rotation for CB reserve time and got extended. I've got to say that I like being on ship better than I like being on land. It's cool.
Most of my Navy friends actually say that they preferred being on ship. The only thing they didn't like about being on ship was that this is a problem for me throughout the entire Navy, is that somebody's rank, if somebody's a higher rank than you, it's almost like the Marines, and their shit don't stink, and you've got to do a bunch of just crap on the side. But they'd rather do that.
Shit rolls downhill.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Navy acronym.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere. But what I didn't like is some Navy officers came off on me like I cared. I was in the Air Force. I didn't give a fuck about your stupid rank. And and that's when I was told, like, no. Navy officers are taught that their shit don't stink, and that if they tell you that the sky's pink, it's fucking pink. I'm like, no, sky's blue. He can't see that. He's stupid.
I mean, this is the same problem we have now, where people are talking about role playing. Well, I'm really not cisgendered, and this is where
that's not even a real word.
No shit, Sherlock.
I'm not cisgendered. I don't know what you're saying. That's baby talk. So what is it you're actually trying to say?
They talk in pronouns and stupidity, and it just makes me think that maybe China is doing something right. Oh, look, your baby's mentally retarded. We should kill it.
Excuse me, Bruce, but I'm demon self. Okay, my. Oh my God! Well, this conversation has gone way off the. Do we even have anybody watching anymore?
Off the edge.
Yeah, we got a couple.
All right, cool.
We got any likes?
A couple here and there, but
did we scare away Dungeon Hobby Shop? I don't want to scare them away.
No, I have no idea. I think we kind of went off on a tangent. Although, if you look at your Discord, that'll explain who they are.
Oh, I do have messages from you.
Yeah, you'll get a laugh out of that.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Awesome. Hey, give me some tickets.
Hobby Shop, the people that Garrett has been talking about for the past 3 weeks.
Yep.
Okay.
You've been saying good things or bad things?
I have been saying
about them and Watsy.
Basically, I think I've been keeping it pretty neutral.
I'm so out of the loop because I know everybody's fighting everybody from the OSR to old TSR to new TSR to WotC to Pies. Everybody's fighting everybody. I'm just I don't want to say I'm sick of it, because some of the fight needs to happen, but it needs to happen around nice, simple lines. Are you a cuck that believes in 5th edition, or are you an actual man that believes in TSR OSR stuff? I don't understand why the TSR OSR people are at each other's throats. Stop it.
I don't understand that at all. Like Shadzar, stop warring with those people. They want to play the same game as you.
Yeah.
My whole thing is I'm waiting for, because typically in January, the World Wrestling WWE has a event called the Royal Rumble. And what we're going to do is we're just going to throw all these people in a cage somewhere, and then whoever walks out wins.
I'm of the mindset everybody can make whatever products they want. You do you. The only reason I rail on WotC D&D is because they've trashed the game that I love for decades. Outside of that, I don't care what WotC does. I don't care what new TSR does. I don't care what OSR people do. I do think there are too many OSR products. I really do. And it's funny because I never have the right one that somebody wants me to have. I have freaking 2 versions of Hyperborea, which is my favorite one. I have Swords and Wizardry. I have Osric. I have some that are, Adventures Dark and Deep, Adventure Conquer King system. No, I don't have Lamentations. No, I don't have OSE. What the fuck do I need them for? I have Rules Encyclopedia. I don't need any more of that nonsense. But everybody keeps acting like, oh, you have the wrong version of the OSR. Go fuck yourself.
Shadzard's like, no, that shit isn't D&D. It isn't the same game. I'm like, dude, you're playing the same game. If somebody runs an OSC or Osiric adventure for you, and you're able to play your character from 1987, why are you complaining? They're letting you play a character from 1987. They're letting you play a character that's older than the majority of these faggots that are playing these fucking games.
All right, Bruce.
It's an RPG.
Bruce.
No, asshole. You're playing Final Fantasy 71. That's all you're playing. Is click the X button, spam X, spam the X button, spam it, spam the X. And that's all they're doing. And they're saying, I'm playing an RPG, but they're just clicking attack.
Somebody grab the paddles and shock him.
Motherfuckers are wanting to play first and second at AD&D. And because WotC has gone off the fucking rails and they've made 3 editions that don't matter to most people that want to believe in THACO or fucking matrices, these people...
Look, I will sell THACO. I will sell it if you just bring back race class limitations.
Here's the thing.
I will concede THACO. I will start rolling high. I will use what's like BAM or BAC or whatever the fuck that shit's called in WotC. I will have ascending armor class if you just bring back race class limitations. I have a video on how to calculate THACO for you. It's the backward methodology. It still gets views. I got
That's
a comment.
The only reason I married her is because she can do THACO that
Awesome.
well.
Awesome. That she's that important in your life.
But she's going to come in here and whack me here in a minute.
All right, let Bruce finish. He hasn't wound down yet.
Purple site, not Twitch. Just read the 2E rules and use them, which is purpleworm.org. And I think I got Garrett banned from Twitch for the F word. I'm sorry. Sorry about that, Garrett.
Did Twitch drop you? No, it didn't, because somebody just commented from the Twitch side.
Okay, good deal. Sorry, Universe Man. No, the thing is that WotC's been on the stupid train for many years before they bought D&D. And they've ruined the brand. They've ruined it. There's nothing good that came out of WotC keeping it this long and taking it into the mountainside with, that's a big...
You know I agree with you, right, Bruce? You know that. You know I agree with you, right?
Yeah.
But here's the counter to that. And it's the counter that it's hard pressed for us to counter. The amount of people that play 3 and 5 vastly, epically destroy the amount of people that play OSR or old school Dungeons and Dragons. Now,
I will still play those games. I'll still run them. But because my players get upset because as a 4th level thief, I can't open locks or I can't climb walls, or I keep failing on my rolls to find or remove traps. And they die, and then the TPK starts.
But why are they dying? I don't understand that. Was it you guys that had a conversation about that one time, or somebody else that was talking about, well, you only have I think maybe as big as Geekus, well, you only have a 20% chance. That isn't how that's supposed to work. It's a 20% chance, but you're supposed to do things that up that percentage. And you know what? Thieves die a lot. That's why they get so many experience points.
Yeah.
That's why they get they only need 1,250 to level up where the mage needs 2,500, because they're out there risking it constantly, and you want your thief to level up. But no, the point was, at least that's how we always played it. It was like, look, if I just go straight to that thing and tap on the door and just start unlocking that lock, yeah, that's a 20% chance. That sucks.
Exactly.
But if I start thinking, okay, hold on here. Because I don't want to get stabbed by a needle, I'm going to put some gauze on this side. I'm going to mark the trap with a circle. I'm going to, I don't know. throwing crap out that's popping in my head, but you get the idea. I'm playing around with this trap. I'm actually instead of doing this in a round time or 10-minute time and a turns time, can I take an hour? Yeah, and that's how you get through that. You start using, because you didn't need to worry about, well, did I make my skill check? No, what you were doing, we didn't worry about even in non-weapon proficiencies, like, oh, do I have this proficiency? Do I have the engineering proficiency? Do I not? We just worried about, how are you handling this lock? Very carefully. Explain to me how very carefully you're handling it.
That much. What we did is we would have a back and forth, and that would determine success or failure. If needed be, we would add a die roll, but typically it was just a back and forth. And even then, like in my Forgotten Realms game and the Mordenkainen's Fantastic Adventure, which I ran for a bit, like we tried a lot of games. And my players, God bless them, they were spirited, but they were not inventive. And I wasn't about to like fudge die. Sorry, dude, you rolled a 92. You needed a 45 for that.
But my favorite lockpicking was when they went up to the door and they said, and I was young, so I mean, you all probably have better stories than this, but I was young and I was impressed by this. Went up to the door and said, okay, rolled for traps, et cetera, et cetera. Found the trap. Like, okay, can we take the door off the hinges? I'm like, well, there are no hinges on this side. Great. So here's what we're going to do. And they found a way of actually burning through the door without setting off the trap.
Nice.
Like that's how you get through that. So you're supposed to use that kind of imagination. The problem is 3E starts to get rid of that imagination with spot check, use device or whatever the hell it's called. Okay, did I make it? No, you're supposed to think this through. This is supposed to be partially a puzzle that you.
Are you getting all robotic on us? Or is that my internet?
Yeah. No, that's him.
Okay.
Oh.
I think we lost him.
Alabama net.
Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There you go.
I don't know what happened. I didn't see any bad little icons here saying that I went bad. But apparently I did. Anyway, I'm done because apparently the internet doesn't want me to rant. And 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Well, you can't. You know what the issue is? It knows
Bruce
it's not
screwed
Friday.
it up for me.
No, it knows it's not Friday.
It's not Friday.
It's not Friday. That's what
So
Bruce took up all the rant time.
All right. So real quick here, a couple of housekeeping. I already threw it in once. I will throw it in again. I'll go ahead and throw. There is the Legion of Myth Twitch.
Oh, Twitch.
And
wait, what day is it today?
Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because I think Heathen Dog might have. Heathen Dog's trying to be a statistic right now, so he might not be able to stream tomorrow.
What do you say? He's trying to be this.
He got what you had.
Oh God.
Doesn't know how either.
And then for Mr. Bruce here is his YouTube. As it goes through, there we go. All right, so I know tomorrow night, myself and Bruce, we do have our Table Breakers game, our Table Breakers discussion. We are going to be discussing. Let's see, what was
Why are you breaking tables?
Because that's what we do.
It's not that bad. It's everything's okay, man. You don't have to start smashing stuff.
Have you not heard Bruce rant?
Never. Let's go.
He breaks tables. Come on. What counts as a dungeon is what we're going to be discussing tomorrow night.
Oh, is this going to get somebody's head spun up?
Probably.
Well, hey, if Legion Myth isn't streaming tomorrow, which I'm doubting they will be, I'll be sure to be there and heckle you guys.
And then Max, you have your Friday stream.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the Friday chill stream. Probably not gonna do the Sunday stream because Heathen Dog for sure isn't gonna be there. And unless something comes up where I want to hit the play button, I'm probably not gonna do RPG Digest this week. We're gonna start strong next year. But yes, Friday chill stream is still happening.
Uni, thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate it.
Universe of Man, have a nice day.
But I think that's going to probably do it for us tonight. And we have no idea what next week's going to be, correct?
No, do we ever?
Not it.
I know, right?
Next week, before we adjourn for Game Breaker or Gatekeepers, what do we want to do for next week?
I just said not it, and I touched my notes.
I got an idea, but I don't know if you guys want to do it.
Well, what's the idea?
Well, the idea would be, how do you prepare your game world for your players?
Oh, God, that's a crappy idea. No.
What do you? How far do you go in? How far do you go in to detailing your world and getting it ready, or do you just buy a pre-built world and not even open it up until the game day?
Can you? Let me give you my point here, because every single game that I run differently. I never do it the same way twice. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna have a hard time answering that. I've built worlds that didn't turn out the way I thought. I've played in settings. I've just generically done stuff and let the characters kind of build the world around them. I never. That's a hard one for me, because I never do the same thing twice, and it's not intentionally. I always just get a wild hair and want to run with it. Like, I want to do this.
Truthfully, I usually, and I've said this before, I usually run stuff off the top of my head. I usually have a point A to point B, and then I run it off the top of my head to get them there.
That's why you're fighting snowmen in the jungle, because he can't figure out his own damn world.
Pretty much.
I'll write up an idea for a campaign or a game day. I'll get the landmass drawn that I need. I'll have a zoomed in version of that landmass, and then I'll get to the hex paper where I have everything split up. Todd, you guys are planning?
Yes. Well, best comment of the night.
Bruce, you know Todd.
Yeah, I know Todd.
That's the reason he said that.
And once I get my hex paper out, that's where I just like drop items, kind of like what almost Forbidden Lands does, but I've been doing that before Forbidden Lands. Whoops. Yeah, I know. Forbidden Lands does it better than me, but I've been using a system kind of like that for years. Thank you, First Edition DMG.
But you just drop like little tokens?
Yeah, basically like in this.
He drops sand on there. Every piece of sand is an animal you have to fight.
Yeah.
Oh, this big one? That's a dragon.
And here's
what's this one that takes up the entire like these 3 squares? That's a pack of Tarrasque.
Sorry, that's a rock, not sand. Well, guess what? That's big. You're gonna be fighting it. How come it takes up more than 1 hex? How big is a hex? About 7 miles.
It's the end of the world.
World as we know
it. Okay. So that's what I wanted to go over. I think that would be a good stream. I think
if we can pin that down just a little bit, especially if we're gonna have 5-6 people on there, I think it is a great topic. Yeah.
Or what we can do is have it. Or the other thing we could do is we could say, okay, this is what we're going to do. Everyone who's here, we're going to plan, kind of like what we did on the Friday stream.
The one caveat to that though is the Friday stream, I was pretty strict about keeping it to what we talked about on Wednesday or Tuesday or whatever it was. So you need that planning phase first, because already Bruce does it way differently than I do, way differently than you do. So if you start saying, "Hey Max, we're gonna plan this," I'll be like, "I don't care." Or it'd be the other part, like, "No, I always have to have this, Max. We don't care." So if we can set the groundwork like we did, and maybe this is a 2-parter. There's nothing wrong with it being a 2-parter. We have the first part where we just talk about what we do with our games. And then we have the second part where we take that information and build a world. I'm cool with that. I think it's a great idea.
All right.
Thank you, Garrett, for having us on.
No problem. Thank you much for being here.
And everyone, thank you. I have seen a friend talk to themselves.
I do it all the time. What are you talking about? No.
Why did I just get a Discord message from you saying I regret very much you being here? That was mean.
That was Bruce to you, not me. I'm still waiting for a couple of heads to pop in our Discord, though. I've been reading through. Well, no, I've been kind of reading through some of the discussion chat, and it's been quite humorous.
Oh, I said what I had to say already.
I know, but all right. Speaking of that, we're going to go ahead and take off for the night, everybody. Thank you much for being here, and I want to thank everybody, especially Bruce, Max, for coming in with me. And I'm going to close this out how a good friend of mine from New Zealand closes out his streams, and I'm sure he will not mind. Time is a finite resource. I want to thank you for taking a little bit of that resource that is in such high demand and spending it with us. Hope everyone does have a very happy Merry Christmas, a very happy holidays if you don't celebrate Christmas. And
Heathens!
we will see you. Myself and Bruce will see you tomorrow night, and Max will see you on Friday. Have a good night.